right. I got a bunch of new ones. I've been writing like crazy lately. But this new song, it's called They Call Me John Brown. And it's about John Brown. You know who John Brown was?
Yeah, he's on the cover of that Kansas record, standing there like this.
Is he really?
Yeah, there's a Kansas record with big picture of John Brown on the cover. I'll pull it out of there later. We'll look at the picture.
I gotta
Laugh
see
at
that.
one. Yeah.
I'm not a big enough fan of Kansas to know that. Actually, I seen Kansas live once. I used to work at this amphitheater when I was real young, and it was the goofiest concert I've ever seen in my life. I'm not joking, man. He had his shirt off and he had this big, manly chest hair, and he's doing the marching dance.
All right.
He was like marching in place.
Wheel
in the sky keeps on turning. That's Kansas, right?
No, that's Journey, but
Oh, well, what's the Kansas song?
Kansas, like Dust in the
Dust
Wind.
in the Wind. It was like a marching song, though. What's one of their marching hits? They got a marching song because he marched like the whole show.
Well, we'll flip through the records later and
he
look
was-
for the marching
Man,
song.
I'm telling you, that guy was like driven. He was driven. And that was it was way out in the sticks in this town called Lampe. It's right outside of Branson, Missouri.
Yeah, see, because they're on the wrong side of the border of Missouri. They're on Kansas. That's why.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a very good point.
See, if they were called Missouri, they probably would have been good.
Yeah, that's some very strong coffee. So,
And this one's called? What is it called?
it's called They Call Me John Brown. And it's about John Brown and about how he got sick of waiting around. And I can relate to that because I'm kind of sick of waiting around myself. So
So let's do it.
I'll try to get through it. It's new. They call me John Brown, just simple man of town. Yeah, I never did nothing right, but God damn it, I knew how to fight. They call me John Brown. They call me John Brown. Everywhere I go, people put me down. People think what I did was dumb, but God damn it, I got shit done. They call me John Brown.
Right.
Thank you. I like that one.
Now, you want to tell a little bit about John Brown for people who don't know about John Brown?
He and his 3 sons went and hacked this guy up to death.
Well, I know you're called Old Hack, and you want to tell the hack part, but there was some sort of starting their own country kind of revolution kind of thing
it was
going on.
Kansas. They didn't know. There's, everybody was arguing in Kansas about whether they're going to be a free state or a slave state. And John Brown said, "We're not going to be a slave state. And if you try to make this a slave state, I'm going to hack you up into pieces." And then he got a bunch of followers together and he went down to this guy's, mansion, and then he drug him out and he hacked him up into pieces. And then he roamed the country free for like 2 years, and everybody knew who he was because what he did was famous, you know. And then he ran up to Canada, where, you know, all of our lawbreakers go.
Mm-hmm.
And in Canada, the prime minister said, you know, well, I want to put a bounty on that guy's head because I don't want just some crazy nut roaming around Canada. And then John Brown said, well, I'm going to put a bounty on your head. You know, he's good, you know. I mean, what's the difference?
Yeah,
Your prime minister and John Brown, what's the difference?
Right. He had his own state.
Mano a mano, you
yeah,
know.
there we go.
And then he came back, and when he came back, he knew that eventually he was going to be put away. So he got a bunch of crazy fanatical liberals together, and they went down to the South, and they were going to steal some guns and give it to these black people, and for the black people to kill that evil white bastard that was, you know, putting them in shacks. Except he didn't advertise. He didn't tell any black people that he was going to do that. So when he got there and he got the guns, there was nobody there to take the guns.
Mm.
And then he's sitting in a firehouse, and they got in a big shootout, and everybody died but John Brown. And eventually, you know, they took him in and starved him for a while, and grew a big white beard like Santa Claus, and then they hung him. And that's you know, that's what started the whole mess that killed more people than all of the rest of the following wars combined in America. You know, I mean, it's interesting that, you know, only Americans can kill Americans to that degree. You know, it's like nobody can mess with us except for us. Like, we really screw ourselves up really good, better than anybody else can screw us up. So, I like that story. I like John Brown.
So that was the beginning of the Civil War. John Brown was just pre-Civil War.
Yeah, glory, glory. That's about him. His soul is marching on. However it goes.
All right. So thank you for the in-depth study of John Brown, because I knew a lot of people out there did not know that.
And not enough people. Not enough. More people ought to look into it because he's a hell of a guy. Well, he was a total failure his entire life. The only thing he ever did right was kill people.
Well, it sounds like a lot of people we know lately.
Yeah, a lot of famous Americans got famous that way.
Yeah.